All right, so since I'm the new guy here at X96, I'm the only staff member that hasn't had the privilege of working in the famed AeroPress Square building. The building itself has been vacant for some time. The building is dangerous. The building is vacant, so we're going in with the permission of the property owner.
Oh no, open it up to the public, John.
Bill Allred, ladies and gentlemen.
Open it up. Come on down. It's like explore, you know?
We don't recommend that anybody go in on their own.
I think we're going to see a lot of pigeon shit. And I hope not a lot of needles or anything like that.
I joined the X96 air staff in 2013, 21 years after the station came about in 1992, and even longer after KJQ came about in the late 1980s. Joining a staff that's been together for over 20 years is a little intimidating, so it's cool for me to see a little bit more about where the station started. AeroPress Square sits across the street from the Salt Palace. The Deseret News referred to it in an article earlier this year as a rotten tooth on the city's skyline. Clearly, it needs to be torn down. In 1909, it was built as the Hotel Albert for a cost of $100,000, which would be about $2.7 million today.
Now, Mike, it smells better in here now than it did when we worked here. See, it was about 11 o'clock in the morning. We'd always go, oh, it smells like the Chinese restaurant's burning the hair off a cat again.
This elevator is, it's a shame, but this is supposedly the first glass elevator in the western U.S.
Really?
It's an Otis elevator.
Well, we had people would come here, prize winners would come here to pick up their prizes, and we were on the second floor, and then always get stuck in the elevator.
In 1912, it became the Hotel Shelton. Then it was the White House Hotel in the 1930s. It switched owners a couple of times through the 1940s, and then I kind of lost track of where it ended up. The AeroPress Shopping Center came about in the 1970s. Then a mime troupe started the glass factory on the third floor. Hard to believe that the same species that put a man on the moon and cured polio is the same people that removed the G and the L, turning this into Ass Factory. Ass Factory. The famous Club Deviate was right next door for a lot of years until it burned down. There was a fire in this building in the year 2011. None of that damage was ever repaired. Even though we were in the building, we were still having trouble getting to the second floor.
Is this how you get to the deck? Back here.
Stairways were boarded up, exits were blocked, and the main door was barred from the inside.
Why the fuck are you doing that, man? Get the fuck out of here now, you fuck shit. You don't give a fuck about fuck you.
Once Trevor from Disaster Pros Utah started hacking away at the lock, we figured out that we weren't alone.
Alex City Police, coming up the stairs. Announce yourself if you're in here.
The officers that came in with us from the Salt Lake Police Department have been in this building several times in the last few years, clearing out vagrants and homeless people, and people pulling the aluminum and copper out of the walls for recycling money. It's weird to think that this building hasn't been used for anything since the 1990s. Once we got into the old on-air studio and saw the writing on the wall, it was clear that not many people had been in this building in the last 15 to 16 years.
It's kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
In what used to be X-Mart and Grid Magazine was now somebody's living room. Somebody's been living in this room with apparently his man-made friends. And obviously on a different plane of reality, indicated by the messages that were scrawled in blood on the walls. Seriously, that's blood. Holy shit!
There was the old prize closet.
Do you remember when Green Day came through? This is like when Green Day was very first starting.
Yeah.
And they ran through the studio and put Green Day stickers on everything. Like on framed pictures and
on
the
the
tops
glass.
of desks
Yeah.
and walls.
Because they're Green Day.
Yeah. And at the time we're like jerks, and then after a while we're like, Green Day came through.
Yeah, they did that.
Speaking of which, I think it's where Terry Billingini used to sit. It's right here, wasn't it?
This is my old office, John.
With a big tall skylight in there.
Can we not get in there?
No.
I don't know if you'd want to go in there.
Well, I have to go. I can't stand any more of this.
All right, so we just went through. It was kind of sad actually, seeing the old X96 studios. But I'm proud to say that I finally got to go in there. I've been wanting to go in and check it out for at least 20 years. So we've got the building owners here. We have Vasilios and Mike, who were kind enough to let us go through today. Thank you guys for letting us go through.
You're very welcome.
Now, obviously, the building is old. It's built in 1909 or something like that. But it's got to come down, right? Is that a controversial issue, you think? Do people? Is it just because it's an old building and people don't like old buildings being torn down?
Well, we don't know. Mike and I own several buildings downtown, and the buildings that we could save, we've absolutely saved. Unfortunately, this building was changed a lot since it was originally built, and it's gone to a point where it's just too hard to reverse what's happened, and the bones just aren't as sturdy as some of the other buildings, and so we believe it needs to come down. We bought it vacant. Ever since the radio station moved out, it's just been downhill since then. So I wish you guys never would have moved out. We might have had a good building, so I think we have you to blame for that.
I can't think of one building that we've moved out of that is still standing. That's
it seems to be a pattern here. But we love historic buildings, and unfortunately this one is...
I don't think, personally, having been in there and having looked at it up close, I don't think this one's as historic as people want to think it is.
Right.
It's gorgeous from far away, but when you look at it up close, it's really not all that.
Yeah, it's just that young lady at the bar.
Yeah, is that insulting?
Absolutely.
It's your building. I don't want to insult you.
No, you're not insulting us at all, and plus its location. It's in the path of progress. There's a lot of things going on around us. We're right across from City Creek.
Right.
We just spent so much money doing that. Across from the convention center, so we get all these visitors coming to Salt Lake, and we're a little embarrassed that we have this building sitting here like this, and we own other properties around it, and so we're anxious to go through with the next development that will happen on this corner. Hopefully it's a hotel of some sort, and we're going down that road, and until that decision gets made, then we'll decide what we'll want to do here and move forward. But the way the city is now with their ordinances and everything else, we're stuck. We can't knock it down. We really can't rebuild it, and so we're just here trying to do the best we can right now.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was fun. Thank
Thanks,
you very
appreciate
much.
it.
We'll see you. Good luck.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
I'm gonna go catch up with the cops. You wanna come?